Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drux Malone Unboxing. Virgil Ortiz might be sick and no longer fighting, but there's still some other fights happening this weekend. We've got IBF flyweight champion Sonny Edwards defending against Mohamed Wasim. That should be an interesting fight. But I think potentially the most intriguing fight of the weekend is happening in the land of the rising sun in Kyoto, Japan. On Saturday, Shiro will be attempting to regain his WBC light flyweight championship of the world against Masamichi Yabuki, his countryman. Now, it's an interesting storyline behind the fight. Shiro was unbeaten at 18-0 going into the initial encounter in September of last year. He won that WBC world title when he beat Ganigan Lopez, made 8 successful title defenses, stopped Lopez in a rematch. And he also has a good stoppage victory there over former IBF champ Milan Melindo. And Masamichi Yabuki came in he ended after the fight at 13 wins and 3 losses. 12 of those 13 wins coming by the short route. So he's a guy who can crack a little bit. But he didn't really have a guy on his record to make people think that he can beat Shiro, but beat him he did. In those losses, he's been stopped before. He's got a loss against the current WBO flyweight champion Junta Nakatani, but he did the trick and scores the big upset there when he beat Shiro, stopped him in the 10th round. Now in that fight, Shiro is a boxer. He uses his feet and his hands, the speed of that to outbox his opponent. He's not a huge puncher. 10 knockouts and 18 wins. He can crack a little bit when he plants his feet and lets his hands go, but it's more sort of brought on by the speed or the accuracy of his punches. So he's primarily a boxer, Shiro, and he likes to move around the ring, and he has his arms wide. He likes to keep his left hand there so he can give a short jab, get there quicker, a little bit like Floyd Mayweather. But he's a boxer, so he relies on his reflexes and speed of foot and hand. Now Masamichi Yabuki sort of stalked and walked down Shiro, and he did one thing in that fight very well. When you have a quicker opponent, he timed Shiro, especially with that long right hand. He jabbed to the chest, found him where he could, and he kept making Shiro walk into his right hand time and time again, and that turned the fight in his favor. And I think the turning point for Yabuki came when he opened a very bad cut, a real deep gash over Shiro's right eye, and it was bleeding, and it was a deep gash. And that lit a fire under Shiro. And he came out after that trying to end the fight, and he went after Yabuki. Now he had Yabuki reeling in that 10th round. He definitely, I think he hurt Yabuki with shots to the body. That seemed to have Yabuki reeling. But then he caught Shiro, hurt him, drove him to the ropes, and he just rained in the punches on Shiro until the referee intervened. And Yabuki was a new world champion. Now, statistically, when somebody loses by stoppage to someone in the rematch, that person who won the initial encounter will win the rematch quicker. Will that be the case here against Masamichi Yabuki? I'm not so sure. You know, how I see that fight, I think Shiro, he does one thing that I don't like. He doesn't give you a lot of angles. He attacks and he jumps back, and he attacks and he jumps back. He moves in straight lines. I think that's a mistake that he'll have to rectify in this fight. He'll have to find a way to stay out of the way of his right hand of Yabuki, and he needs to, according to me, move to his right, move away from the right hand of Yabuki this time around. That time, the first encounter, he was just backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, and Yabuki timed him with that right hand. So I think this time out, Shiro needs to change tactics. Now, can he? He's still a young man. He's had 19 fights. That's not in today's world up and coming prospect anymore, but he's not a grizzled veteran in that sense, maybe at world level. But I think he's still young enough and early enough in his pro career that he can change gears, and I think that's what he should do. He should do 2 things. Number 1, he shouldn't run into that right hand, so he needs to land his punches and move away from that right hand. Give Yabuki more angles, not forward and backward all the time. And number 2, I think what led to his demise when he got that deep cut, credit to him, he tried to end the fight right there. I don't think he had much of a choice because the cut was so deep. Maybe he should have tried to see out the rounds and box Yabuki. But I think this time around, he shouldn't make the same mistake. He must just box. Masamichi, Yabuki, stay away from the right hand, because he has got the quicker feet and hands, but Yabuki has got the power. I think Shiro is the better, more fluid boxer. I think the cut, he didn't adjust to the right hand of Yabuki last time out, and the cut made him choose the wrong course of action that led to his demise. So this time, he's got to stay clear of the right hand, not cut, and box and move out at an angle, land his punches and move out. And of course, I noticed that he hurt Yabuki in the body, so that's also some place he can go, but not stand there for an extended period of time. Use his jab, hit the body, move away at an angle, negate the right hand of Yabuki, and I think he can win this fight on points. If he really goes to a body, he can maybe stop Yabuki, but I don't think he should take too many risks, because that's where he went pear-shaped for him last time. Yabuki, for his part, needs to do what he did last time, but I think he's going to need more than just jabbing to the chest and waiting for that right hand this time around. I think he can put in some more variety there. He's going to and work the body of Shiro maybe from an earlier angle. So I think Shiro is going to regain his title by decision. I might be wrong, but I'm riding with Shiro in Japan, in Kyoto. And until we see each other again, please remember, keep those hands up.